All right, after hours of research and downloading from some sketchy websites, came to the conclusion Mach-Hommy's the best active rapper right now, bar for bar. God Fahim, not so much, but they tend to complement each other really well on these dollar menu projects. Let's get into it.
When we move is similar to tectonic plates. It's a fine line between criticism and trying to hate.
I'm pretty sure there's subtle gold on the production, and I think they used this same sample on the earlier dollar menu.
I consolidate, playing with them inhale cannons that discombobulate. I'm VIP up in the back room with the accommodate. Dump God calls the top room, that's how we dominate. One thing that shows us so we not similar. I kick flip my shit on stage and break a fibula.
That's a tough verse from the God Fahim. He only had two different rhyme schemes there, but they both were really crisp. 3 syllables on both of them. He slandered a little bit at times, but we're gonna call it a 3 syllable.
This is Chris Smalls dropping science on Lindsey Graham. I see pitfalls in your alliance. You and your guys, Dicky playing with your fishy plans. You imitate the flies, Blakey's plan. I'm a picky man. I don't want to talk about no specifics. I'm Glocktomistic with Smith and Wesson Mystic. Nah, I'm vicious.
Glocktomistic is fire, but the way that he's manipulating his rhyme scheme right now is crazy. The Mystic rhyme scheme stayed through the entire verse so far, but when he got into that Blicky Bland part, he used the Mystic part as the internal rhyme, but for the rest of the verse, it was at the end of the rhyme. Then he'll like flip it into a 3 syllable too.
Shit's flowing, it's libation out the picture. Consider this whole with Live Nation out of the picture. You get your shit sold without familiar locking position. Listen, we see intending me if you believe you seeing new shit. I do can, so are you can, nigga, I'm reducing. I put the stock inside the source spot, got the future. I hit the ball inside the corner pocket, hallelujah.
Hallelujah, pockets fully blown like Rockefeller. With no trace of A's, we bounce back like brothers, nigga getting.
I like how they play off each other's lines. Mach-Hommy had a, this is Jay-Z with Live Nation out of picture, and then Fahim got a Jay-Z flip to it in his verse.
We bounce back like brothers, nigga getting sauce money like Jigga, Primo, and Jazzo. Bass Grove.
That's tough. I was just talking about how he had the Jay-Z live, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but you know how Jay-Z and Jazzo beefing with Sauce Money. That's a fire punch.
I see the hoes in niggas game like the U.S. Open. Got juice like the Beatles, nigga, I'm John Winning. Got
juice like the Beatles, I'm John Winning. Is Fahim rapping right now? Is this nigga spitting?
Even stars get struck like Eminem fans. You get your whole section 8 like public housing. Need counseling.
That's tough.
Keep them bouncing.
Get your section 8.
Now and then sophisticated like your house plan.
Hey, Mach gonna be Mach, but Fahim was spitting on that track. His first verse impressed me with how crisp was rhyme scheme wise, so that second verse was tough. I normally criticize him because I think his punches can get a little basic, but he had some clever punches here, and the way that he layered his punches were impressive too. Like he had the whole Rockefeller line, and then he had the getting Sauce Money line right after it. Then that Beatles line was particularly clever because he said, I'm getting juice like the Beatles, which is like a double entendre for Beetlejuice. And then he said, I'm John Winning, which plays into the Beatles, the band that the Migos is better than. Mach did his thing. Lyricism was elite. It seems like the projects that he puts directly on streaming, so this, Ciao, and Pray for Haiti, is intended to appeal to a wider audience. So this was less cryptic verse as far as the braggadocio spit, a little bit easier to follow than say something off of Triz 9. Let's get into Smokin Kiki.
We give them the daily dose like vitamins. Yo, peep the way I pull strings.
Yo,
like
this beat
violins.
is crazy.
This world is filled with dollar signs and violins. Everybody searching for loot, just like pirates. He raps like close quarter combat, Mortal Kombat. I broke my mind from the shackles. The tree ain't too far from the apple. Rappers think they cool till I crack them. I'm way over their head like pterodactyls. Flip you like spatulas, bout my paper like a bachelor's.
The vocals and extra pianos are OD.
Get captured. Ain't no happy endings, this is guillotine rap shit.
We put them chopsticks on you like a dumpling, stomach growing like Grambling March trumpet.
Tough.
Style, watch the blonde in the Marpinars unders.
Nah, he came out the gate spazzing. This nigga's floating.
Mock homicide, hit your calling car number. You caught a body last summer, that's all. We run up high numbers, stun at that
That's fire. Like, nigga, you caught a body, like a body? That's it?
Oh, you remind me of Tammy Wynette, girl.
Your bitch look like Peter Frampton, living way out in some ass, trying to be the people's champion.
Yo, I didn't know Drew was on this song, but he still is Yanni Dangerfield bad. That's hilarious.
They see the name going up,
Come
so
on.
they tampering. Same cats be writing letters
vocal
to the
sample is
artists that be
different.
sampling. And starting shit to get my PayPal locked up. With no weapon formed against the wave shall prosper. Them no worry weed till they bury me. Ain't even gotta see it go win like Curry 3. One finger up like that green jersey 33, you heard me?
This is Mach's 4th album of the year, And out of everything he's dropped, this has been my favorite song so far. The production is wild. Just the keys in that sample alone is crazy, but the fact that that sample is muffled, staticky, and it's distorted a little bit. Then that vocal sample creeps in every like 8 bars or so. And then them niggas came to rap. Fahim popped it off with a really fire verse. Drill started his verse on 10 with the "Your girl look like Peter Frampton." He had a ton of clever punches in his verse too. And then Mach-Hommy, the nigga left Earth on his verse. I think he had the best verse on the song, which is saying a lot with how good the other 2 verses were. Chopsticks on You Like Dumplings out the gate was fire. The You Only Call One Body that said he used his full government name, Mock Homicide. The song is crazy. This is Shukran Don. Sound like they sampled a video game. Like a RPG video game, not 2K.
My asses at Bergdorf's first off. Flip you like a launch pad, get your lawns Latin and murk off. His first horse was opening, they sold reverse course. Now his coach bag a person, his balls a nerve call emergency.
I like this round scheme, but I also like that punch. The first toss was opening day saw.
Reynolds with the irk and jerk sauce. Quick boss. If she's a boss, I need that girl to bird boss.
Never waited for Santa Claus. Need a Diana Ross. Stand alone like monologues. Fuck with my catalog. I flip the digit by
Stand alone like monologues is tough. Why is this nigga rapping like this?
About my stock like MF Doom. It's all capital. Best to be about yours too. I ain't mad at you.
Come on, my stock is all capital like MF Doom. Talk that financial literacy, equity-ish. Come on, man.
Precious phenomenon, me electrolyte IP, electrify the IP, flex like Ali. I bet your commas not free. Restaurant on me, free Muhammad Hamid.
Bro, he's rhyming every single syllable. In a couple of those lines, he said like one syllable that would be like yeah or the. But other than that, he rhymed every single syllable. Every single syllable in those lines went with something. It's not human.
Precious like Kyrie, precious phenomenon, me electrolyte IP, electrify the IP.
Oh, that's even crazier than I thought. All right, so follow me. The whole stanza rhymes, but he's doing an A-B rhyme scheme. So where the first stanza lines up syllable for syllable with the third, fifth, and so on stanza, both with the rhymes and with the cadence. Like, they match perfectly. He might throw one syllable in there, but pretty much match up perfectly. And then the second, fourth, and sixth match up with each other rhyme scheme-wise and cadence-wise. Bro, top 1.
SQ7 move heaven and earth. I'm pushing pedal for sure. I festoon a vessel with special reserve. I want to work. The bell curve got on my nerves. I want to learn, but this Bellsburg got on my shirt.
The quadruport move hell in the moon that speeds like typhoon. It's 5 flexing with the high IQ. Ball heads in the 45 they call Caillou. Until my kid, my versus fireball, they saw Ryu.
Another song I really rock with. I like that bright, airy sample. And then the rapping was crazy. I'm thoroughly impressed with the God Fahim. I don't think I've heard him rap on this level on any other project. Me personally, I don't just go out there listening to too much God Fahim. He just kind of come with the territory most of the time. Bro, Moss verse is different. There's 2 people on the planet where I've heard them rap every single syllable in a bar. MF Doom was one. He did that kind of frequently. And then he does that pretty frequently too, especially on Dollar Menu 2. He does it on The Shady and the Lamb and Continental Breakfast. But if you listen to Corner Shot, he raps every single syllable for like 12 straight bars. And he did something similar here, but he threw another wrinkle in it with going A-B with every syllable. That's crazy. All right, I don't know if this song title is ignorant or really clever, but this is extended.
Niggas knew that I was with it ever since I was admitted. It made it big as a starting forward power for the wizard. The chicken gizzards is awesome on account of the percentage. From down south talking with accountants and my kindred. Ciao, ciao.
The horn's crazy.
And the biscuit bow, bow, bow. Touch it with the garlic and the lemon. Niggas don't be fucking with the fall and then forget it.
Dog, I didn't eat dinner and I'm super hungry. I probably shouldn't have listened to this at this point in time. It's also 1 o'clock in the morning.
No rush, you like your daughter and Govinda. I got the Russian in the closet with a standard.
All it how I see it, you talking, you gotta be it. If
This
you
is a
got the
fire
insight to see
flow.
between the lines, gotta read it. I rhyme conceited, it's consecutive scores and I repeat it. I rock my finger, create a flame and make them eat it. I put this pyramid to your brain like ancient Egypt. Put you on your toes like Mike, then make you beat it.
I can't tell if that's a third eye flip or the Desert Eagles have the little triangles on it, so it could be talking about that pyramid. I think he's talking about the first one. I think that's a third eye flip.
Seeds on incubators, imitators, can't debate us. Every time I rap, it's death and respirators.
Really fun song with Mach keeping his same level of lyricism but having this melodic flow to it. I love that versatility and dynamicism. I don't know if dynamicism is a word, but if they're going to spell extended like that, I'm going to say dynamicism. Fahim had an extremely good flow as well. He kind of matched Mach-Hommy's flow, which is impressive. A lot of people can't do that. Fahim ain't did it in any other project I heard. This nigga is on one. This is Bunny Ciao. I heard this sample before. Like the actual sample where the beat originated from. I heard that before. Can't tell you who it is though. But this is somebody actually popular. And by popular I mean somebody my dad listens to.
I'm breaking bread like Money Child going over your head.
That's fire. That's fire.
Let me gal on me out of space so I can posse out. How many Haitians unaware of my homie? I bought some land with my money, niggas blowing all their money on the G. That's time shit.
Who's this? I came from the bottom like my shoe print. Creases in my Air Force Ones, I was a nuisance.
Who's this?
If you got creases in them, they probably black too.
Like niggas don't know what truth is. Clueless, but I pop bottles and rubber bands. But not before I throw it back to the motherland.
Alright, that's a beautiful sample. I will say they didn't do nothing to that sample. Like I'm pretty sure they just pretty much rapped over a soul beat. But both Mach and Fahim had buttery smooth flows. I have no idea why they needed that nigga at the end to keep saying bankroll, falling or calling, whatever he was saying. He said it so much I should know what he said. But yeah, I have no idea why he was on there. Solid song. This is Macabre.
Blowing cephalopods out the ride with the macabre. No Decepticons, it's best to silence a crowd with a barrage. Show a leprechaun my neck and cloud up the iris of his eye. You never put no shellfish in nobody roll bars, you just smiling for the odds.
Alright, that was Mach's most cryptic couple of bars on the album so far. But it was really just a lyrically dense way of describing doing drive-bys in public in expensive cars. I ran it back like 10 times and edited it out. I'm not that smart.
Some of the flies niggas you ever saw. You can tell from all of the writing on the wall. Staying light and I'm heightening my awareness of the law.
Bro, this is a really good rhyme scheme from Fahim.
Quicker with the draws, no draw. Just pass me the rock, I'm scoring with the ball. With seconds left on the clock, I'm shitting on them all. Cause most of these rappers suck like sipping through a straw.
Alright, Fahim, don't do this suck like sipping out of straw stuff. You've been doing great. Don't revert back.
Optimus Slime, no time for episodic knowledge of the crime. We got
Optimus Slime is fire, and it plays into how he opened his last verse where he had a Decepticon line.
now Dr. Frankenstein, a Moggle revive. Ride of Frankenstein, gobbling the god, honoring the scribe.
I don't know which way to side. Got execution may vary, it's deep in my collage. My garage like vintage cars, I keep the stock alive. I got the strive, I play my cards, I keep them optimized. Why they
That sample felt like it had an old Western feel to it, which is a perfect combination with the rapping from Mach and the God Fahim. I particularly love Mach's verses here. I won't say the most lyrically dense, but more so the most coded or cryptic. It was more so the way he phrased his lines were really, really lyrically dense. This is that sell my album for hundreds of dollars, Mach-Hommy. But I rock with both verses he had. The first one centered around shooting niggas up from cars. The second one was a mix, braggadocio, cars, weed, women, and shooting niggas up. Fahim had two solid verses. I really like how his verses played off of Mach-Hommy's rhyme schemes. These guys have a lot of chemistry right now. This is food grade.
don't get mad at the dope selling, cause you niggas buying. I ain't into the wrinkle clothes, so I keep the iron. I can float in the double R, I can push the Cayenne. I am Jersey better number 7 like Mike Vick. I used to pray for times like this to rhyme real sick.
We rappers fuck Mach-Hommy, fuck that. He reminiscing of the past. He's not ultra feminine, he's such a man, fuck a fan. My investors flex investments on the gram, pussies talk like stands. They
Man, I was finna cap hard. I was finna shake my hand and throw up a peace sign like I'm an investor. I'm gonna save up my coins and buy one of these projects. When he drop a $40 project, I'm in there. The $400 ones,
I'm talking OGs, you got the replica. No Dr. Pepper, huh? Called a la Kai with lots of nectar, huh?
The God was secular. His day-to-day life was far from regular. Now they pay an arm and a leg for the
bro, I love how all their rhyme schemes play off of each other.
gotta check for you. And everybody feel me on a level that's molecular.
That's fire.
Dracula. for the highest selling project manufacturer. They try to put you in a box, that's how they package you.
They try to put you in a box, that's how they package you. That's fire.
My life's a movie, ain't no record scratch, freeze frame, please refrain.
Motherfuckers try to act like we the same.
My life's a movie, ain't no record scratch freeze file. You probably wondering why I'm here right now. That's fire.
To Mac, I make it rain in the stellar rays. So don't mistake my ways for throwing it with flakes.
Alright, that was easily the lightest song on the album so far. It don't suck, but like it ain't that good either. The one saving grace was Drug's verse, who actually did have a fire verse, but those were the lightest two verses from Mach-Hommy. The second was better than the first one, but they both were light. On Mach-Hommy standards, those were light. Fahim's verse was fine, but he has better verses on this album. The beat was probably the closest thing to trash. It was just underdeveloped. I think it would have been better if they would have mixed up the keys and lowered the horns. But that just sounded like they was rapping over some noise. Alright, this is Mirage DonDurmas.
These are the tales of a street poet that learn how to eat from it. Long as the
drunk
checks
top.
keep coming. No weak stomachs, I set the table of excellence. Exposed to pestilence, staying guarded from treachery. I'm a businessman like Mark Cuban. I rock the Cuban, bust down butters with no inclusion. They subscribe to the God, knowing about the illness. I'm a ride, I survived, made it out the village. Born a man with no land, it's time to get established. Had to forge a plan, now expensive all my habits. Been running through the fire hoops a long time, and I don't think I'm ever gonna stop. Dumping, pumping with a strong mind.
B-Tech the engine, do the hokey pokey in my legend, dipping off on the Jakes with parolees.
These niggas are sick for this modulation.
My presence
The tempo
with 40
changed,
different
too.
bases in my closet, with rollies in my dresser. I put me and my homies in my jealous 5411s, give them to my shorty on the dead end, and then my brethren hit me on my mobile.
I think the thing that attracts me to minimalism so much in hip hop is that it's an art in and of itself. It takes a lot of talent to do a lot with less, both when it comes to making the sound good and with keeping people entertained. And I think that was on full display on this song. That was a really dynamic beat for it to just have one sample. They used multiple parts of the same sample, and then to match it up with those drums where you would think the drums would be like half the tempo for it to fit with that vocal sample, but it fit really, really good. And then the drums gave the beat like a swing to it. Then Fahim's flow played into it really, really well. Then that beat change or modulation, I think it was the same sample to Mach-Hommy's part, was sick. Also like the contrast of Fahim's verse being about like that rags to riches growing up where he grew up at, and then Mach's verse was just pure luxury. It's like he told his rags to riches story but without the rags. But I thought this was a dope song. This is 4-piece, sis. Bro, it'd be hard to go wrong with keys, man.
I grew up in the titty, except they call that bit the hooter. I pull up in the Twizzy, I bet you all that bit maneuver. Bottoms up in the city, and then we crawl back in the Uber.
I think the technical term for what Mach-Hommy's doing is a motif, but regardless, he's using the same cadence from line to line to kitty, Uber, rhyme scheme, and cadence together. I think the combination of that is what is a motif. Anyway, that's a long way to say it's dope.
Like Bobby.
Don't try and test me. I Smith the West and Messi. Kick like Lions
Messi.
Messi. Just watch
That
how
was
you address me
telegraphed.
like Swab. We stay invested. I impale you on a stick like kebabs. But stop the questions. Off strike like a venomous cold, but no mic with me's protected. I'm a boss, you can never demote us. I came to set the record.
I felt like a beat switch was coming because how they dropped the beat out earlier in Fahim's verse.
Flip you like Meek Mill. My cipher key still like me.
Yo, that's fire. Bro, Mach-Hommy made it through 8 tracks without a flip you like line. It was worth the wait, dog. That's a reference from that video where Meek Mill hit that front flip, and I'm assuming it was a 76ers game. It was a really unathletic looking front flip. It's like how, scientifically, bumblebees can't fly. Like, Meek Mill was not supposed to hit that flip, but he hit it clean.
My cipher key still like me in the barber chair chill. My sniping need kills.
That's fire. It keeps still. Like we in a barber chair. Keep still.
It's time to rebuild for real, the shield wiping street,
I
yeah.
peep the spills wild sloppy, and your style copy. Trying to be like Yachty, fine the foul Mach-D. Ain't there one of y'all slick enough to outfox me. I said, no clout for you, I'm the clout Nazi. No clout for
Niggas ain't never done.
No cloud for you, I'm the cloud Nazi.
When they got the wrong confide, check how they all look. They coming out the Marshall. That's how they lost Rooks.
That's also how they lost pawns. I've been spitting fire since the days of Rock and Sean John. Your better days.
Their chemistry is crazy, so Drug picked up from Mach's rhyme scheme. All their flows match each other well, and then Fahim's opening line plays off Mach's, talking about get all your rooks took, and then Fahim's like, taking them pawns too.
See, I ain't really on with y'all on. I'm a trendsetter. I might start back rocking Sean John. See, that's the problem.
That's
too many
tough.
cheerleaders with pom-poms and not too many elite players in the game that's strong on.
That's how you end the album. I thought Fahim did fine to open up the track, but it felt like the track was just leading to something. There was these subtle shifts in the beats that made it seem like a beat change was coming, like they took the beat out just a tad bit, and then when the beat change finally came, fire. Moss verse was sick. The Flip You Like Meat Meal line, that's the most memorable line on the whole album to me. And then Key Still Like Me in a Barber Chair. Ugh, that's sick. That's sick. They don't have any of the feature shows, so every time Drug came in, I was excited about that. And the chemistry between Mach, Drug, and Fahim, sick. And I'll say all three had fire verse. And overall, I think this project was the perfect combination of everything that Mach-Hommy has to offer, digestible to a larger audience, and still stayed true to the Dollar Menu vibe and aesthetic. I love this project. I think Mach showed elite level lyricism. I'll say the second Dollar Menu is probably more lyrically dense than this, but I definitely don't think this lyricism was toned down. It definitely is less cryptic than a lot of the Dollar Menus, and by a lot of the Dollar Menus, all of the other Dollar Menus. But I don't think that's a fault, especially when lyricism is a sacrifice. Fahim was on another level. This is the best Fahim I've ever heard. If there's a Fahim that's better than this, let me know. Probably won't listen to it unless like 5 of y'all agree that this is better than this. But he was snapping on this album. Every single verse on here was really good or better for him. Mach normally does his numbers, but it's normally a big discrepancy between their talent, and I think he closed that gap a lot. And then the Drug features here were sick. Their chemistry was amazing. I'll say the only flaw with this album is once you got to the second half of the album, a couple of these beats were just like, aight. They felt underdeveloped. But with that said, there still is some really, really fun beats in here, especially the Smokin Kiki's beat, the Four Pieces beat. But overall, sick project. And as Mach keeps making his music more and more available, he's going to be in these best rapper conversations a lot more.